In this video, we're discussing perfect squares. And perfect squares are a special kind of exponent because if you put a number to the exponent of 2, you'll come out with what's called a perfect square. So before we actually talk about the numbers, let's look at page 4 and let's look at it on some graph paper first. So we're just going to draw a few squares. And so the first square I want you to draw is just one, let me make my highlighter a little bit bigger, one little square, just like that. You don't have to put the little extra there. My highlighter kind of went a little out of control. So this is a 1 by 1 space square. It's 1 space long and 1 space across. So this is a 1 by 1. Now if I draw another square, I could draw it like this. The next size up, if the first one was a 1 by 1, this one is 2 down and 2 across. So this is a 2 by 2 square. If I draw another one, the next size up would be a 3 by 3 square. So a 3 by 3. And we could continue that pattern. The next one we would draw would be a 4 by 4. And that's what it would look like. We'd say it's a 4 by 4 because there's 4 down the side and 4 across the top. Now, how does that translate to our perfect squares? Well, let's look back at page 3. So if we do the factors, so 0 squared is just going to be 0 times 0, which is equal to 0. There's no square there. 0 squared is just going to be 0. Now, if we do 1 squared, that's going to be 1 times 1. If we look back at our picture from page 4, 1 by 1 gave me a perfect square made up of 1 square. So 1 times 1 is 1. So the perfect square, or the area for that one, is 1. For 2 squared, it's going to be 2 times 2. And if we look back at the picture on page 4, a 2 by 2 square is made up of 4 pieces. So 2 times 2 is 4, a perfect square of 4. And the perfect square of 4 is really 2 to the second power. So you can go back and forth between the two. For the next one, 3 squared is just going to be 3 times 3. And that's going to be this one here. So it's going to be a square made out of 9 pieces. So this is a perfect square made of 9. And if we look back here, the perfect square will be 9, and it's made up of a 3 by 3 square or a 3 squared. And then if we look at the last one, it's a 4 by 4. Well, it would be made of 16 pieces because 4 times 4 is 16. So this is a perfect square of 16 pieces. So this is 4 by 4, a 4 by 4 square, and it's made up of 16 pieces. So you go ahead, use your facts. You do not have to draw the rest of them because they do get rather large, but I want you to fill in the rest of the table, and then you can check your work whenever you are done by unpausing the video. So here are your answers. And like I said, you did not need to draw them on the other page because the squares do start to get large. The 12 by 12 square will be made up of 144 pieces.